Hello everyone and welcome back to the Stitching Cafe. Today I'm going to show you how to make one of my all-time favorite meals. This is called gingered pork and asparagus. I've chosen it for my birthday meal this year, so you know I must really love it. I'm going to start with 1.5 to 2 pounds of a pork tenderloin, and I'm going to cut this into some cubes. I'll go ahead and do that in a minute. This takes just a little bit of prep work. It's super easy to make once you have the prep work done, and then it just cooks up really fast. But you do need to marinate your meat, and so that is the process we're working on right now, and we're going to get our marinade made up as soon as we're done cutting this, so let us begin. Now, I did forget to mention that this is going to be for 6 to 8 servings, so keep that in mind with the measurements. Now we're going to set our meat aside, and we're going to make up our marinade here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and build up the marinade now. I like these plastic containers that lunch meat comes in these days in the stores because they come with the lid and everything like that. They store well in the fridge. So I'm just going to put a bag in there. I'm going to start with 12 tablespoons of apple juice. I always buy these, and I'm leaking. I always buy these, keep these on hand in an 8-pack just for cooking. And what I do is I lift the tab and I snip it to where I can pour from the bottle. So I'm going to measure out 12 tablespoons. And I always have a little sip of a drink left over. Then we are going to get 12 tablespoons of a soy sauce, and I always go with the gluten-free soy sauce. And if I run out of this bottle, which I'm sure I will, I'll be getting a new one. Then I'm going to add in 6 garlic cloves minced. I love these freeze-dried garlic bits. I keep these in my fridge all the time. So I'm going to do 6 teaspoons of this. I actually cut it a little shy because I don't think I need that total amount. And then I need 2 tablespoons of a ground ginger. Now I'm going to just stir this up a little bit. And then I'm going to reserve 2/3 cup of this marinade. Now I'm going to pour my meat into here gently. And now I'm going to kind of swish this marinade around and get it all marinating, and I'm going to set this in the fridge for at least an hour. If you want to go 24 hours, you can do that. I always let it set for at least an hour. I'm usually in a big panic about the time this is ready to go because I always forget about the marinating process, and then last minute I kind of have a freak out moment. So now I'm just going to sit this in my fridge for an hour, and then I proceed with dinner, and I'm going to sit this in the fridge as well. Hey guys, we are back. It has been a little over an hour for my marinade, and so I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. Occasionally you may want to kind of reposition it and get that juice kind of rearranged on the meat, but this should be nice and juicy now. So I'm going to go ahead and add some oil to my pan. And I do not have my pan heated yet. That is coming next. So then I'm going to get some heat in this pan, and we will go from there. So my pan is pretty well heated now. I'm going to start removing this pork with a slotted spoon and putting it in the oil. Don't worry about all the juice being left in this bag, because I have my leftover reserved juice for the sauce. So this is the reserved juice that I have. I'm going to set this over here. We're going to let this meat get browned on the bottom. I'm going to up my heat just a touch. This cooks really, really quick, so I think I'm going to go ahead and start my water boiling for the rice. If you want to keep this meal low carb, you also could just eat this without the rice, but the rice is definitely a nice solid base for this meal. So while this meat is cooking away, I have a few minutes to do my other steps. So I'm going to prepare my asparagus. You're going to need at least 1 pound for 4 servings. I have about 2 pounds here for 8 servings, which is a little less than 2 bunches like this. This asparagus looked so good. I'm going to go ahead and rinse this and start preparing it. I'm going to cut this into about 1 inch slices and then just have them all ready to be poured in a little later on. Now, one tip, if you don't know it already, if you want to know how to prepare your asparagus, if you don't want the woodiness on the bottom, you just twist it and it will pop off where the woodiness ends. That is, I know it looks like a lot of waste, but that is how you get your best asparagus and only have the prime pieces in your meal. So I've just finished cutting up my asparagus, and here it is. I'm going to set this aside until I'm ready to add it later. And while this was cooking, I went ahead and got my rice going, so that's going to be about another 18 minutes for the rice. We'll see how these add up and which one's done quicker, but I think it'll be done right about the same time. I hope they will be. We're going to go ahead and give this a stir. It's cooking up really, really nicely, not too hot. And it smells so good in here right now. So good. This is one of my favorite meals because it tastes more authentic to a restaurant type meal. Those of you who know, I've been gluten-free for about 12 years now. I don't get out to restaurants at all. And so I've been trying to kind of recreate some of the yummy things I had when I was younger. This absolutely fits in there. This is a lot like a teriyaki meal, but a lot like a Chinese meal, so it's kind of a blend of things. It's so good though, and I hope you'll give it a try. Like I said, it's one of my favorites, or I would not be choosing this for my birthday dinner. So this meat is looking really, really good. I think it's basically cooked. So what I'm going to do is take a slotted spoon and use my handy dandy keep it warm plate and I'm going to transfer the meat into this. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my asparagus in here to get that a little bit crisp tender for about 2 to 3 minutes. It needs to cook in there. I'm going to switch out my spoon now. So we're going to let that saute for just a couple minutes until it gets crisp tender. Now while I'm waiting for this to finish getting crisp, I'm going to take my reserved marinade and I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. And I'm going to whisk that all together. And then I'm going to set that aside for just a moment. Alright, now I'm going to add in this marinade into my skillet. Give that a stir. You want this to come to a little bit of a simmer. I can see just a slight little simmer going to be starting here. And you want to let this cook for 2 minutes again so that it will get thicker. It's starting to thicken up already, as you can see. Looking yummy. Alright, now I'm going to add the meat back into the pan. Give that a stir. Oh, it smells so good in this room right now. If this smell does not bring everyone out here to eat, well, I have not done my job well. It smells so stinking good right now. So that's basically it. Just let this cook another minute, get that meat and those vegetables all mixed together, all the heat all together to where it's all nice and warm. Put this on a plate on top of some white rice, or by itself as well. That tastes yummy. Because there is so much asparagus in this dish, you really don't have to have a side, although you could have a side of vegetables if you want. I might add a little salad on this side to lighten things up. But that's it. It's done and it's so yummy. I'll go ahead and plate this up so you can see the finished results. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you'll give this recipe a try and enjoy a wonderful birthday meal with me. I am so ready. Let me know if you try it and how it turns out. I love hearing from you. Thanks so much for watching today. And until next time, bon appetit and ciao for now.